بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
So let's start here. So the e-learning teacher program, already we covered the overview of the program. So I think I don't need to repeat that. It's about myself and also the why we are doing this program. And basically there are two objectives as we discussed. It's more about how you can present your skills, your knowledge in a more effective way. That's one of the main objective via online tools. So many people are used to online tools, obviously, since 1 year. But again, I'll try to share my own tips and my own options, which I use to make presentations more effective. And additionally, once you do that, you also have some options, kind of revenue generation options, which will be covering probably in the last 2-3 classes. So out of 7 to 10 sessions, we'll be covering around 2 to 3 sessions on those options as well. But it's all about the groundwork, what we have to do. It's not like, you immediately start generating a revenue the next day itself. It about initially you have to put a lot of efforts. You have to prepare a lot of content. Probably after that, you will see the difference, maybe after 6 months to 1 year. But that will be like continuous. Okay. It's not like it will stop. It will generate a continuous revenue for every month, even if you don't record any new content. But the more you add the content, the more you can make more revenue generation options. So I'll get into more in detail on that a little bit later. The prerequisite knowledge, as I said, the good depth, in-depth knowledge on the subject. So here I'm not going to teach you any subjects. I expect you are the master of your own subjects. The only thing what I'm going to help you out is how you can efficiently utilize the technology and the resources to effectively deliver the sessions. And again, the resources, let's come back to these options. So let me give overview first. We'll try to understand the resources. What are the different types of resources required in terms of hardware or in terms of softwares? We'll talk about these individual softwares as we get into separate sections. We'll be seeing some screen drawing tools. Like here, I'll be using some kind of Epic pen. I'll try to show you some options, mostly easy options, but screen drawing is something really very important to deliver the sessions on that. It's not like I'm just chatting or you're just watching me, That's something not more interactive, because even though you don't see, you should see. You should feel the presence. Basically, that's more you draw, it's kind of board. You have to utilize your screen as a whiteboard or the blackboard. You have those options in these tools. We'll be seeing that. Additionally, we'll also see about presentations, how to create presentations. Again, I'm not going to teach you the MS Office, so you may not become an expert in MS Office. You don't learn MS Office expert kind of thing, but I'll be showing you some quick tools, quick options, which can be useful while creating the presentations. Like here, you can see the presentation, what I'm using. I just prepared probably 1 hour before in 30-40 minutes. You need to have a collection of topics, what you want to cover, and then just use them. So quick settings, those settings I'll show you. You can see there is a heading, and then there are some images, there is a text, there is a points like that. So whatever you present, it's very important that you have that topic or that points listed on the screen. So it's not like you need to list a complete paragraph, the important points. So this will minimize your efforts, okay, while training. So I'm going to share those things. Probably one session will spend on this, and probably one more session will spend on MS Office. Documentation is very important. So I'll show you some quick tips to use MS Office. So if you are a beginner, if you're new, it's okay, fine. You can start. If you already know MS Office, these kind of tools. So I'll just share some few options which are useful while documentation, because knowing the subject and using them in the environment is totally different. Just like I do trainings for many people, but when they get into production network, when they start working in a company where you have thousands of employees, managing the users, managing the computers, that's totally a different challenge. So probably we'll try to see those things like MS Office, Again, I'm not covering complete MS Office course. Basically, in one session, I'm going to show you all the options which will be useful and where they will be useful while documentation part. Of course, Excel is something required. Kind of simple Excel sheets. Again, we don't get into expertise on Excel, but to maintain the records, those kind of things I use to maintain the records. That's it. To maintain the email IDs, to maintain the contact numbers, to maintain some database. There are few use cases for me, which I know will use that option. So we don't get into any kind of complex calculations, those kind of things. So don't expect that. Again, probably half of the session will spend some time here. So once we are through with the things, because the presentations are important and documentation is also important things, records you need to maintain. The next thing we'll get into online meeting applications. So you might be well versed with Zoom application, how to use, but again, as a trainer, you should know how to control the meeting. This is very important. Like here you can see now, you can listen to me, you can see my screen. And if I want, I can remove any participant. If I want, I can add a new participant. I can control that you cannot unmute, because the same session I'm going to record and the same sessions I'm going to upload them on my YouTube channel while I do the class. So the Zoom meeting offers you a high quality recording. Means you don't need any external softwares to do that. So if you plan the things properly, you can also record the session. You can also deliver the class. But again, you need to have a proper plan, those things. So I'll share those tips which I use normally while delivering the classes, where I don't spend additional time on recording. So parallelly, I do both. Screen recording softwares. There are some screen recording softwares you can use apart from Zoom. Zoom has inbuilt video or audio recording options. The current session also getting recorded via Zoom. But the editing part I do on a separate tool, because in the editing part, I may want to specifically cut some portion, or maybe I just wanted to remove some portion. Maybe in between, if I have any kind of noise, maybe I don't want, maybe I pause. So those kind of things you can do. There are few settings you do. We don't do professional editing kind of thing, but the minimum editing which is required for you to make sure that you record your sessions, and when you are before you upload, you make sure that that part is edited, and you can make them in pieces. Like here, what I'll be doing is, out of 90-minute session, let's say if I'm going to deliver, I'm going to make almost into 5 subtopics. So the first one already I finished. First one is this one which I'm doing right now, the resources or the overview. Probably the second part, I will cut it into a separate video, like resources, talking about resources. And the third video part, I'm going to cover screen drawing tools, and then separate video for PPT, like that. So even though it is a 1.5 hour session, but when you are uploading the content, so recording 1.5 hour recording, everything in one video, it's something not recommended. So you might want to make them in pieces, like 5 minutes clip, or maybe one question, one problem in that one, or maybe the overview of the chapter. Like that, you can divide into sub videos. So that part we'll be doing here. Again, we don't do professional editing, but the basic editing you need to know what I use. Okay. Apart from that, we'll be doing online promotions is something you really require, where you need to interact with your students. See, this is very important. Mostly, how you interact with your students, how you're going to update. Are you going to send a WhatsApp message? Are you going to use Telegram? Or you're going to update on the Facebook pages? Especially when you have thousands of students, it's not an easy task to manage everyone on your single phone. So there should be some social media platforms where you interact. Like I use mostly Facebook, where I connect with all my students. And this is something I have been doing for more than 10 years. So if I post any update, any schedule of my class, Alhamdulillah, automatically people start learning about that, and they interact or contact us, and that's how we get the students. So it's really important you have a proper online platforms you have to set, so that later on, maybe after a couple of years, you get students automatically when you announce any course. So that social bonding you have to maintain. Of course, you have to be more interactive. So days are gone, when you expect you should come to the teachers all the time to ask the questions. So now we should be more in a connected way. So YouTube, Facebook, these options are there, where we'll see some of the options with WhatsApp and Telegram. Of course, I know everyone use WhatsApp, so everyone is familiar with that. But there are few options, few tips which can be useful to manage the contacts, manage the people, manage the broadcast, manage the groups, and there are some few optimizations you can do with them to make your life better. It's very difficult sometimes if you're not sure about those options. Also, we'll talk about a YouTube channel. This is complete, YouTube channel. I hope everyone have a Gmail account and everyone have his own channel. But how far you upload the videos? Because once you edit, you need to upload the videos, and then you need to know the different revenue options you can generate from YouTube. Of course, we'll only discuss the halal options. There are some advertisement options. We don't get into that. Additionally, we also how you can enable the channel memberships, from where you can also generate some revenue with your students or the participants. Facebook page is the best way you connect with most of the people. If you talk about any public figures, they have a Twitter account. Obviously, Twitter is, of course, bigger than Facebook, I can say. But in terms of Indian market, if you consider, basically Facebook is one of the best platform to interact. So just not having a Facebook account, because teacher is also a public figure, because that's something you can do. There will be an option when you create a page, what you are a tutor or a teacher kind of option. So now there is no limit here. If you are using a Facebook account, then you can only add 500 members as your friends, 5,000, sorry. And what if you have followers more than that? Like on my page, I have 20,000 followers, people who follow me on my Facebook page. So when you update on your Facebook page, which means if they use Facebook, then probably they'll get those notifications of your updates. So every organization has their own Facebook page, and every teacher should have that page. So we'll try to see some options in that, how you can promote some Facebook ads, how you can manage the pages, multiple pages, and what are the options inside that. Probably we'll also talk about that. Last option, we'll see the options like selling your courses. Once you record, once you edit, and once your course videos are ready, now you can start putting your courses on some platforms. There are plenty now, but Udemy is one of the biggest platform where I upload Udemy, and there is a GNS3 Teachable. There are a couple of platforms which I use. You can use the same platforms, or you can try multiple platforms. But what I suggest, when you try the options, you have to add 1 or 2 courses and see the progress in the next 6 months to 1 year. Then you can have to make sure that you switch to any 1 or 2 platforms. Because if you just put your courses on every platform, the problem is there will be a little bit less privacy for your content, because your content, there will be many platforms approach you. Like I get email every week. I get a couple of emails from many e-learning platforms to host my courses on the platform. But the issue is, you cannot just give the videos and upload over there. But they will promise some kind of revenue, but at the back end, you may not get. There are few things on that. So I'll be talking about those things. Udemy is one of the best platform where I use, the market leader, we can say. Additionally, you can add other platforms as well. In India also, there are plenty of platforms they have launched in Bangalore or different locations. You can also try those. So this is a quite overview. We'll try to get into deeper a little bit in each and every topic. We'll come one by one.